made it.
Stay in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm ScottBeaumont, and today we're looking at this guy.
Hi.
The Joker, and more specifically, Heath Ledger's Joker. It's no joke that most people consider Heath Ledger's Joker the best portrayal of the Crown Prince of Crime to date.
Turns to me, and he says, "Why so serious?"
But what made his performance so legendary? The voice, the directing, the fact that Ledger improvised some of the most iconic moments in the film?
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone.
Well, let's break it down. When director Christopher Nolan set out to cast the Joker, many big-name actors were hesitant to take on the role. This was because no one wanted to attempt to follow up on Jack Nicholson's iconic portrayal and Mark Hamill's legendary voice work. Even Joaquin Phoenix, who eventually played the character in 2019 and 2020, rejected an offer to play him then. But when Nolan received an unexpected phone call, it changed everything.
We saw absolutely eye to eye on the bigger picture idea of who this guy was going to be. We talked about common reference points.
At the time, this casting decision received a lot of backlash and nobody really understood the vision. No one except Chris Nolan.
The way you threw yourself after her.
But like I said before, Heath received a lot of backlash of being cast due to his prior work where he was simply known as the heart-throb of Hollywood. And to be honest, you can't really blame the media, and if you were alive then, you were probably one of those critics who didn't understand this decision. He was most known for Home and Away, 10 Things I Hate About You, and Brokeback Mountain.
It's not every day you find a girl who'll flash someone to get you out of detention.
When you watch those films and Ledger is playing a teen heartthrob, and then you say, now he will play the most despicable, psychopathic villain ever, well, it doesn't really add up. But oh boy did he deliver.
Now I see the funny side. Now I'm always smiling.
Heath is known for diving into this character and doing an acting technique called method acting, where you essentially become the character itself in real life, to an extent at least. Now when you combine that with the Joker, it's tough. Heath locked himself away in a hotel room for over a month, cutting himself off from the outside world. During this time, he kept a diary filled with disturbing thoughts, sketches, and phrases that he imagined the Joker would write. He experimented with different voices, searching for something both eerie and playful, and eventually landing on that now iconic, unsettling drawl. But it wasn't just the voice. Ledger crafted every tick, every mannerism, every unpredictable head tilt to make the Joker feel unhinged. He drew inspiration from real-life criminals and sociopaths, like Malcolm McDowell's Alex from A Clockwork Orange and punk rocker Sid Vicious, blending their anarchic energy into his performance. Even though his makeup was personal, Ledger insisted on applying it himself to give it that smudged, imperfect look, as if the Joker didn't care about perfection, only chaos. And then there was the physicality. He moved in an erratic, almost reptilian way, constantly licking his lips, which wasn't on purpose. Heath had a say in selecting the Joker's mismatched, ragged look, from the purple coat to the faggot green vest, down to the battered shoes that gave the impression that the Joker had been living on the edge for far too long.
So he developed the look of the character with Lindy Hemming, the costume designer, with John Caglione, the makeup, and myself over a long period of time. So we would experiment with pieces of it. You know, what would the shoes be? I think the shoes were actually the first thing that Lindy found that Heath was like, no, those are exactly the right shoes.
Nolan noted that Heath's involvement in every detail, from the clothes to the makeup, was integral to creating the Joker that felt authentic and unpredictable.
This is a sort of, like an amalgam of shirt fabrics and ties. Everything with a little bit of edge and a bit of jagginess. And these are his color, different colors.
Nolan gave Heath the freedom to go off script, and it led to some of the most iconic scenes in all of cinema. Take the slow clap in the jail cell, for example. Gordon gets promoted, the cops cheer, and out of nowhere, the Joker starts clapping along. That was all Ledger. Then there's the hospital explosion. Originally, the bombs were supposed to go off in one clean detonation, but when there was a delay, instead of breaking character, Ledger created this iconic moment. Aaron Eckhart, who played Harvey Dent, talked about this firsthand in their hospital scene together. Aaron recalls not having any lines prepared for the scene.
And then Heath came around, and Heath was always in character. So he would come around and, be talking to himself in the corner, like this. And then he would come up, I was laying there, and I was watching him the whole time. And he came up and would walk around me like this.
Nothing felt forced because Heath wasn't just playing the Joker, he was him, reacting instinctively, making the scene feel raw and unsettling.
And then all of a sudden my hand would go up like this, and he caught my hand. So we just went through this organic process of developing this scene, which was really nothing. And then when we came time to shoot, we had this thing beautifully choreographed.
Heath delved into the role on a scale that had never been seen before. Unfortunately, Heath Ledger tragically passed away before The Dark Knight was released, and he never got to see the full impact of his performance on the world. His death at just 28 years old was a devastating loss to cinema. The Joker, which would go on to become one of the most iconic performances in film history, was the culmination of years of dedication and passion. Ledger's transformative performance was so powerful that it took on a life of its own, forever changing how audiences would view the character. Although he wasn't around to witness the film's success, his portrayal earned him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, a posthumous recognition that cemented his place in Hollywood history. It's bittersweet that Heath never saw how his work would resonate with generations of fans, but his legacy will always remain a focal point of cinema, immortalizing him as one of the greatest actors of his generation.